Hi, welcome to the Dumps, the place for all your side needs.
Kill everyone now! Condone first degree murder! Advocate cannibalism! Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, I fucked the lobster. Yeah, that's all I
Oh,
have to say.
that is true!
That is
True!
true.
True! True!
True. Yeah. Anyway, so I've been kind of hyping this episode up. If the third person is unmuted, we'll eventually get there. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, there I am
There
right
we
here.
go!
Oh, hi,
Yeah,
guess
there
who's
you
You
are.
back?
fucker!
It's me.
Yeah. Hey
I'm
guys.
John Waters himself, back for this episode
No,
to
I'm
talk
John
about my
Waters.
movies.
No, but
No, no, no.
I'm,
But
I'm. Who am I?
that
You're of
man is
divine.
the real John Waters.
Anyway, we need to get into our official introduction. This is a bit weird. So, this is the first three guest episode, or three people episode. We did it.
Yeah.
This is a big step here in the dumps. But one of these guests you already know from a previous episode if you've watched it, the community
Yeah.
episode. Introduce
Which
yourself,
I've.
Brian.
Yeah, hi, I'm Brian. I forget if I introduced myself in the last one. We kind of just went off ramble here. But yeah, I don't know where I'm back, I guess. I
Yeah.
have a very interesting experience with the one of these movies, and I'd call myself the third John Waters expert out of the three of us. Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
not as much as Israel over here.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't own the Pink Flamingos Criterion, sadly. But hey,
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I also
not
own the
everyone
female
can be
treble
that big.
criterion.
That is true.
And a
Oh man,
hairspray Blu-ray.
you're like the clear expert here. But
Yeah, speaking of which, Israel is the new guest, the main star. He's here, baby.
Yeah! Yeah!
Introduce yourself.
My name is Israel, and I own the Pink Flamingos Criterion.
yeah. See, there you go. You got your
Yeah,
introduction. That was good.
I'm a very powerful man, and if you mess with me, I will have you assassinated in the Bronx. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Oh man, assassinated just like Divine. Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're all here, and we're here to talk about two very special movies today.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. The first one we're
yeah.
gonna be talking about is one we're way more familiar with. Israel has seen it 3 times. Counted
Three
3.
times. To be fair, one of them was an
Yeah.
accident, technically speaking. I was not planning on like fully rewatching it that call, but like but like once I got in, I had no way to get out. And
Yeah,
that film
yeah.
is the lovely Pink Flamingos.
Yeah, Pink
Yeah.
Flamingos. This is John Waters' breakout hit, at least for midnight movies, and created probably drag culture entirely, or what it is today. And it's
Yeah.
probably one
Mhm.
of the most influential like cult classics ever. So I'll let Israel talk on the matter. So yeah.
Yeah. We
Okay,
take it like
so
introduce it.
Pink Flamingos. For the time, John Waters was of course making films like before this point. Like he made Mondo Trasho, which I've not seen, and he also made multiple Maniacs, which we'll get to later. But this was the film in which like not only like broke him out when it comes to like being a filmmaking guy, but also like was entirely different like genre of film that just like technically existed beforehand, but like kind of like revolutionized it in a way when it comes to like what a film can be, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Because like
no, this is like a big movie. If we're thinking about this, this is a 5,000 or was it 10,000, $20,000 made movie, and it made back
yeah, it was
1.9
very cheap.
million to like $7 million
Yeah.
dollars. We
Yeah.
we don't know the
Yeah.
exact count, but it is very influential, and people don't really know that because I think like the culture around Pink Flamingos spread further than the actual movie itself. Because as I
Yeah.
explained, drag
Yeah.
culture
Because I
would
don't
not
know.
be the same without Divine herself or himself. Sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
the reputation of, like you said, the reputation of Pink Flamingos is kind of bigger than it itself. Because if you see
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
movies that are like, this is disgusting as shit, people are like, Oh man, Pink Flamingos. It's really uncomfortable to watch Pink Flamingos, but I don't know. When me and you famously watched it a couple months back, I feel like we weren't even phased by it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
See,
chicken
I
sex.
was
I
It's
think
like,
this is a
but
very
I don't know.
interesting
I'm
because
desensitized, so that's
because I'll
probably why.
explain.
But
When I first watched Pink Flamingos, here my friend Brian. This was back when we were
yep.
doing like very often VCs, and so
Hmm.
one of our exclusive art house nights. We will not go further to explain that. We watched Pink Flamingos. Now this was originally on Brian's list of films he will never watch. Look where we are
Yeah,
now, man. Simpler
uh,
times.
yeah. No, I think the only reason I like actively said that is because yeah, it has that reputation. So really, I thought it'd be like more uncomfortable than it actually
yeah.
is.
The
But
thing with
really, like I said, I don't know. Actually, actually watching it isn't even that bad,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like
Here's the
going
thing
through
with Pink
everything.
Flamingos is that like I feel like it's one of those films that's kind of like weirdly lumped in with like a bunch of like other disturbing films, but like yeah, it is uncomfortable, but like it's in a different way because like it's a lot more of a comedy than
Yeah,
anything else. Like that's
Yeah.
the
yeah.
biggest
Like
thing
I don't know.
about it.
It's
So
weird.
like
You'll put like I don't know. You see Pink Flamingos in the same list as shit like fucking Salo or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like no,
Salo or
don't put
Martyrs
Or
or like a
that's
Martyrs
not.
Serbian
or
film.
but
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's on like
It's
that here. But I don't know.
it
I don't know. I feel
influenced
like
all
Pink
those movies
Flamingos
for
is like
sure. Well, not
yeah.
Salo.
yeah,
Salo was an
yeah.
entirely different thing, but
Salo came out like 3 years later, and like of course that was a entirely different time. So like
yeah,
I
because
think it
that's
was very
about
like
fascism. So
yeah,
that's another reason.
and I've
Yeah.
seen Salo, and I don't really like it. We will not get into that today.
No, the dumps can allow tangents, but we'll do that later. It's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I don't
but
know.
yeah, with Pink Flamingos, like it still did very much like did influence a lot of people, but like it's still the case where it's like it feels weird for it to be like lumped into like those other films in my opinion, because like yeah, it is like uncomfortable and like it is gross, but like it's not really like Sallow or like Martyrs in terms of like its subject matter or anything like that. Like
Yeah. No.
Pink
No. No.
Flamingos is a comedy, it's straight and point, you
Yeah,
know, it's not
exactly.
really
That's
trying
the
to take
main
itself
thing. This
seriously at
movie's
all.
trying to. I don't know. I find it hard to be disturbed by this movie when everything that is hailed as like disturbing is just like a fucking stupid joke. Like I don't know. The
Yeah,
worst it gets is like I don't like watching the chicken fucking part. That
me
kind of like
neither. Me
makes it.
neither. Like, here's the
But
thing: is that like
I
it
don't
Honestly,
know.
didn't
In
that's
the
shock
pretty
whole
me.
yeah,
tame.
it's
That's
fine.
pretty tame.
For me, at least, like it
And plus,
shocked
some of
me.
it
You
isn't
know,
even
most
like vulgar. It's just stupid. Like the fucking shit eating where they literally eat a
That
guy.
part
It's
is
such
so
a
that's not
fucking
vulgar to
movie.
you.
yeah.
Well, I
So,
mean it is, but like it's not like I don't know. I can't. I could handle that.
yeah. See, the
I just
overall point we're making is that it's influenced so much that we forget like us that censorship as this point is just gone completely due to not just social media and free speech, but also the fact that boundaries have been pushed so much that at this point this is just normal. See, I'm just like I'm a pretty young
yeah.
guy. I'm like 13, and so when I'm like watching movies like
Yeah,
this,
13 years old watching Pink Flamingos.
yeah, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, that's normal. That's fine, because it's influenced so much of our culture, and I'm not even shocked by it. But what really like is attractive to Pink Flamingos is the fact that it's a comedy, that it's a farce, because it was made around the time when pornos were like actually legal. Something like Deep Throat was a box office hit, and that's just a straight up porno. So I don't know how that happened,
Yeah.
but that was around the time when something like that could exist, that it could be the way it is, and it's
Yeah.
fascinating to me.
Really, it's
One
just
thing,
a product of its time. Like you're not going to get a movie specifically with this like
oh no,
70s
you
culture
would
and influence
never
in any
ever
other
get
era.
like most John Waters films. Like you would never ever be able to make it today because like
Yeah, exactly.
especially okay. Here's
It's
the
a
thing as well. It's
specific
that like several of his films technically committed some crimes. Is the thing
Yeah, yeah.
because like some of his films are like very much like underground. Like I watched some of the interviews in preparation for this, and like Mondo Trasho, he actually got in major trouble for it because like he had like public nudity and like he didn't like disclose it with
Oh,
anyone. So that's why like with like his
okay.
other films, like they're a lot more like privately set, you know. So like he would have to get into trouble with it.
Yeah, see,
In
the
fact,
thing about in
he actually did get charged for Pink Flamingos. In fact,
yeah, cause
during like a New York case.
Divine, I think, stole some stuff around Baltimore, but
Uh,
Divine covered himself by saying, "I was a method actor playing a robber."
Yeah.
That's the reason why he wasn't arrested.
that's
Yeah,
There was
definitely
there was also
that's definitely in character. But
yeah.
no, but
But you were talking about another case, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but the main case I was referring to is like pretty much like I don't remember the specifics, but pretty much like pretty much like John Waters was like banned from like ever like airing his film in theaters at in New York
Ooh,
again, and like if he had to do it, he would like to have to pay another fine, since like
damn.
pretty much like John Waters did not really have a case against it because like it was so obscene that but it's the case where like he has played it has been played like since, but like nobody has caught him yet, so like he's safe. He's safe.
Oh, he's
John Waters
safe.
is safe.
Nice.
Yeah, good, good.
He got out.
He's good.
He's
Yeah,
good.
he talked about that in the Criterion interview. It's so funny.
Yeah, nice.
Mhm. Technically, not a lot of pink flamingos is like illegal, but maybe the shit eating should be. I
No,
can't
well,
because like Divine
apparently, what
actually.
they did was
That's
the
Yeah.
dog was given steak for 3 days straight, and they just followed it
Uh,
around until it started shitting right before like the natural lighting was about to like go out,
oh,
and they got it basically last minute. It was a miracle.
oh, that's actually so funny. Actually, well, I mean, it makes sense. It's what
Yeah.
literally ends the movie. They fucking cut the
yeah.
credits.
Yeah, no, Divine would
Which is
literally do
super funny.
anything for this role, and you could clearly see he was very much
Yeah.
not enjoying the taste of this shit. But
But like they were good friends, so like it's a
yeah,
case where
Yeah.
they would just do anything with each other,
yeah,
See,
because
that's the
like
weird thing about like John Waters movies. I feel like wholesome is definitely the wrong word for the type of stuff these movies are, but it is like I don't know, I find it kind of nice. He just kind of has this like crew of actors that'll be like, all right, sure, John, what's this? You want to make pink flamingos? You want a chicken fuck? Sure. Like they just love John Waters, so they'll go along with all this like
yeah,
bullshit. It is
exactly.
kind of nice. He like kept all these actors for most of
Yeah,
his career, I'm pretty sure. But
yeah, yeah.
he,
yeah. They're
Mm,
he
they're all neat. I don't know,
yeah,
cause I don't know. Pink
yeah.
Flamingos is just so synonymous with everything that at this point, there's no really any more shock value. I just find this movie just really funny, because a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
it
my
is
yeah,
thing.
just
Is
like
that
complete
like
nonsense.
of course, personally speaking, like I've not been that desensitized. Like for me at least, it's just like when something is like a lot more like grungy and real is when it gets to me. Like my first viewing of Pink Flamingos, like the amount of stuff that like this movie does, like I love it, but like it's also like, oh my god, how did he get away with it? You know,
Yeah, no,
I don't
like
know.
it's
Like
it's
the
it's
funniest
bizarre.
bits in the movie to me aren't even like the extreme like vulgar bits. Like I don't know. My favorite joke in the movie, I think, is like when fuck, I forget the name. What's the name of the like? Yeah, the
Eh,
marbles. Yeah,
oh
they
yeah,
yeah, the
like
marbles,
after like
yeah.
Divine and her crew, they like lick and like
Connie and
destroy
Raven
all of her
Marble.
clothing or not clothing, like their couch or whatever.
Yeah, and then they
And then they go
proceed to do
back
an
down
Yeah,
to
incest
Salo,
and the
blowjob.
and
couch
the
rejects
couch
them. The
fucking
couch rejects them.
rejects them.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
Oh
Like
yeah, no,
it's
when
not
it's
not
because
like
place
even
the
the
curse on
funny. It's
it.
furniture
just
is
like
rejecting you.
disgusting. It's just stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the main thing about it. And there's a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
because
That
like the
that's
I
house
funny.
just
thought.
suddenly just doesn't want them anymore due to the
Yeah,
licking.
no,
Yeah,
Fuck, it's
yeah,
so
it's because
funny.
they
oh,
put a curse on
it's
it.
so funny.
Like Dawn Mars put it at best that like they put a curse on the house with like their spinning
Yeah,
because
yeah.
how powerful Divine's curse is.
It's just Divine is so powerful as a character that it just goes far beyond even the spiritual life. It's just amazing.
Exactly, exactly.
It's so
They don't
good.
explain it at all, but like it's so funny.
I think the best thing is that
Yeah,
it
it's
just
just
comes out
great.
of nowhere, and that's what makes it so effective. That's just
Yeah,
so good.
this is a
Yeah.
very movie that like knows how to like just bring you off guard because like this
Oh
movie
yeah,
has like
definitely.
just like going in like you might suspect that's a bit like one note because like the basic things you hear about, but like this movie knows how to be like really creative, which I like about it.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
uh, see the
you wouldn't hear the Eggman bit in any other movie. Nah, that's for sure.
nope. We can,
Not a.
I mean, well, there's more or with the milkman, but that's something different. That's something
Oh,
entirely
that's not.
different. See, the
Yeah,
Eggman. The Eggman is an innocent man. He's an innocent man who just brings out his eggs in a suitcase,
that might
and
be
they're all
like
like
my
organized in
favorite.
like color and like
Yeah,
size. It's so funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's my favorite like character in the movie, and my thing, cause like it's so funny. There's just this presence around the Eggman. Like she's like, oh no, the Eggman might not come, and she gets very, very excited about this man who, for some reason, delivers eggs inside this trailer
I want
specifically.
to know the
You know
history
what? He
behind the
does his job
man.
very well.
I want to know
I'm proud of
why
him.
that man chose to be the Eggman. Why he took that costume and embroidered himself in that legacy.
You
Like
know
how?
something?
Yeah,
I feel like the mystery behind Eggman is very intentional because like I one of the special features was like about like some of like the deleted stuff throughout the movie and like there was nothing involving the Eggman, so I feel like it's best to
uh,
leave it a
okay.
mystery.
Oh man,
Mm.
the aura of the Eggman lives
It's
beyond.
like it's like how you don't know how the baby was made in Eraserhead. It's like
Oh
that,
God.
but for the Eggman.
This is the like third time I've mentioned like David Lynch shit. But yeah, that that's like the weird thing. The Eggman just never ceases to not exist. I don't know who's the man who like portrayed him, but I want like an interview with him. I need to know.
I wonder if he's still alive. Let me look that up real quick because like some of the actors are unfortunately dead now,
Yeah.
one way or another. But like I know that there's still some alive. Let me just like check. We're gonna try to find on the
I
oh
think he
Paul
has most
Swift.
of his like crew still around, still except
Okay,
for the body.
Yeah, the
I'm gonna look up
Dreamland
Paul.
team. It's the Dreamland team. That's what they were
Yeah,
called.
see, that's what's like
Yeah,
so funny about it. He has like this
yeah, he's still
ragtag group
alive.
of Hollywood heroes, but they're all making this fucking
Yeah,
disgusting
because
Yeah,
I
th-
think
nonsense.
most of that sort of embroiderment and like the way they added the show name titles was because of like other avant-garde like directors like Andy Warhol, which is they have like their own sort of Dreamland team. Except
yeah.
in this case, John Waters is a fucked up individual who enjoyed watching car crashes. So you know, that's a
Yeah,
bit weird.
there's actually a fun fact I want to point out because like in one of the things where they said that like they were planning on like all being buried together in like the same graveyard. They were gonna call it like the fucked up paradise or something like that.
That's
uh,
funny. What the fuck? I didn't know about
uh,
that.
I
Yeah,
Yeah,
like thinking
yeah, they
of
mentioned
that.
it because he mentioned it on like where he basically went back to like the original like place where he filmed Pink Flamingos because like the film pretty much like the entire film was like filmed in like only like two real locations
yeah,
besides like
because
from
all his films take place in Baltimore. That's like the main thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of fun facts about that I want to possibly mention. Like,
Okay.
it's because like the basement when it came to like the Marble's house, it's
Yeah. Oh
actually
yeah, the
like
sex
an
slave
entirely
basement.
different
That's great.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sex slave basement is actually an entirely like different set because like because like the place because like the pit is like an entirely different place, which is really funny.
Oh, where did they find it? That's crazy.
Yeah, the that place is actually on the set where the trailer was like around there.
Oh really?
Oh, okay.
That's weird.
Yeah, in fact, there's actually a house there now, and like the couple who are there did not know until like a couple years later.
I think they should be proud that they own that house. That's
They are,
nice.
they're both proud and also not.
I mean, yeah, no. From what I remember, I
I
think
can't imagine like
because
accidentally
when
moving into that
John
neighborhood.
Waters talks about his childhood and living in Baltimore, it feels like he thinks that everyone is just accepts him and all his weirdos like as a team. That's like what the main culture was. And so when you like have that established, I think John Waters lived a relatively normal life. He just got interested in weird shit. I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
this is what
mainly
I've like
because, like I
heard
said,
pretty sure.
he enjoys like car accidents, so that's interesting.
Uh,
And
I think John Waters just like really likes the macabre and just like loves like expressing
but
that
yeah,
in
no,
his
I
films.
think
That's
he
like the
mentioned
big
he
thing
like
about him.
enjoyed this one like dude. He was like he made a bunch of like really cheap. This was around the time when horror was mainly dominant by like those cheap horror movies that were poster made first and then they made the film. I forgot what
Yeah,
the method is
yeah,
called, but it's based on one of those guys. I think his last name is Castle. Yeah, Bill Castle or some
oh,
shit.
okay.
And
yeah. I think it was Bill Castle.
his main inspiration was that he enjoyed the way that dude used the theater in order to interact with shit, which is why polyester and something like Hairspray has like one of those smelloramas, which those were like given to audience members when they saw the film, or at least in some
Yeah,
theaters. And he enjoyed that sort of interaction
Oh,
and sort of that horror-ish vibe to it. And you'd expect that. And
yeah,
I think John once said that like he knew he was homosexual, but he just couldn't say anything about it. And so just he lived his life like this, and he knew basically his surroundings because he grew up in like a '50s America. So you're sort of like I guess, accustomed to like the average American family, and I think he just found it kind of gross and dishonest, and which is why
Yeah.
like a lot of his films are the way they are because they use a lot of you know music from the 50s, and it's mostly from his record collection. Even though his like favorite
Yeah.
film is like The Wizard of Oz, which is really funny because
Yeah.
that's where he got all his inspiration from, The Wizard of Oz to Pink Flamingos. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I could only talk about Pink Flamingos in a way where it's based on its cultural impact, but also because the film kind of feels a bit structureless. I wouldn't say that's a bad
Um,
thing.
Yeah.
I won't say it's a bad
I
thing
think it has
either.
more
Like, of course,
structure
like,
than the other movie we're gonna talk about, but it's kind of aimless in
It's
yeah,
places.
I don't know,
Yeah.
the two
it
movies we're
might.
talking about
I
are
don't know.
very documentary based, sort of, where
Yes,
like
I think
sometimes
that's
they
a
break from
part of where
reality,
like
but like
the
still,
humor comes from though, because obviously it's a very low budget thing. So that's part of why it looks so like grungy. But the fact that this disgusting stuff is
yeah.
presented so authentically, I think is what a big part of the humor is to me. Like
Oh
people
Yeah,
yeah,
can
no,
get
that's
a
that's
so
lot of the
upset.
humor comes from that. Because when you see like Divine look at the camera while eating shit and pretending to
Yeah,
smile during through all of that, that there's a bit because it's literally like breaking the fourth wall by introducing you that this character knows you're there and she loves all the attention of it. That's like the best part.
exactly. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, because they keep presenting her as if that she's like this amazing idol, but she lives in such a small town. And the whole concept of this movie was based on when John Waters just literally looked at a trailer park and was like, "How do people live like this? Like, how do they do this?" And and he
Yeah, and
just
then he
sort of
just
just
like based it
enjoy
all
that.
off of.
Yeah,
What people
that.
say about like his films in general, personally speaking, and of course I've only seen three of his films, but like
Yeah,
his films are very much about like events and not really about like telling a concrete story. Because like Female Trouble doesn't really have a story, Pink Flamingos doesn't really have a story, and Multiple Maniacs doesn't really have a story. Like they're
yeah.
just kind of like
yeah.
about the events
They
themselves,
sort of
about
just
like
have setups that's just like just setting up so John Waters madness can
See,
happen.
the main plot you
exactly,
Essentially, is
can
what happens.
exactly.
the main plot, quote unquote, you could take away from this is that the marbles are trying to fight against Divine's group of pals in like I guess in the filthiest off. I don't know how to
Yeah,
describe it, but
a
it's like
filth
a
off.
filth off, where they're just trying to
Yeah,
become the filthiest people alive, and that's what the news reporters are because they're literally like farming for all this attention, and it's a sort of self reflection from as I said around this time when porn was just the porn theaters still existed and when it was mainstream, and
yeah.
it's a bit way it's just of a self aware thing, and the combination of the way the film uses media and also the way just everything is really fucked up in the most comedic way possible is what made it so impactful. I don't know.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't expect that, but yeah, it's lasted longer than you think it would. And even though it's placed under like these like top 10 lists of like grossest movies, I could see myself just getting the Criterion and just enjoying myself. I don't see a
Yeah.
problem with that. I
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
really
could get
nice release
worse.
as well, I'll say. It's a very, very nice release, and I'm very proud to own it.
Yeah.
I remember like one person being all like, "You own Pink Flamingos?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I would want to own Pink Flamingos. It's funny."
Yeah, it's a funny movie. I don't know. People like are
Yeah, it's
presented with this
funny.
movie as if it's like the grossest thing ever made. When go watch like
Yeah.
Human Centipede if you want that type of shit. I don't.
Yeah.
That's not. This is not what Pink
I don't
Flamingos
know.
is. It's been
It's kind of
misrepresented.
ironic. I feel like the reputation of Pink Flamingos is kind of communicated
Yeah.
in the film itself in a way, because the whole thing, right, is that Divine is the filthiest person alive, and they're all like, I mean, like they don't give a shit. That's just kind of the type of people they are. Meanwhile, the Marbles are like constantly insisting, "Oh, they're the filthiest people. We have this whole like sex ring and everything. See,
Yeah.
they're the filthiest people." But really, I don't know. I thought that's kind of reflective of how some people view pink flamingos. Like some
Yeah.
people like have to hype it up as this most like disgusting thing ever. Really, I just kind of it's a movie that's very
See,
funny,
the
and
marbles you
that's
could view
kind of a
as just the
better way to look at it.
dishonest way of using porn. Something like
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
John Waters pointed
just like torture
out
films. Yeah.
himself
Yeah,
because
cause
like Divine didn't really
he's
like
very much been
aim for it.
advocated for good bad taste and bad taste, where it's like this is not
Yeah.
really saying anything, while my films are trying to say something. At least that's what John Waters wants to try to communicate, and I think he
Yeah, I
communicates it
think
well.
I think John's definitely saying something. I don't know how well he communicated it, but see, I got a lot out of
Yeah,
it.
Pink Flamingos is a
Yeah.
meta and very deconstructive movie of its time. I'm not
It's
gonna
kind
use
of
that
like
language.
Evangelion.
Yeah.
All right, we're canceling this podcast. I'm sorry. Anyway,
I think Shinji should have given the filthiest man alive speech during the third impact
Danius isn't
when Kaido
divine.
does.
What the hell? Yeah, but
but
yeah, okay. Even actually, the Evangelion characters would fit well into Pink Flamingos. I don't see a problem with this.
Shinji would like be adopted by the marbles. Don't ask. This is my headcanon. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
that's awesome.
You
That's
know,
so
at the
awesome.
end of Evangelion, it's just like, hey, you wanna go in our trailer? Wanna go in our sex slave market? Like, that's so stupid. But
Shinji
yeah,
wouldn't even mind. He'd just
he
do
no
hospital
he
scene.
wouldn't mind. I mean, he's as disgusting as the rest of them. I wouldn't. I think
And
it
let's
would
be
work.
fair, he only come out of comatose person, okay?
Does that
Yeah.
make
He
it
only
better though?
Have you
yes,
seen
cause
Evangelion? I don't even.
yes, I
Oh, is it?
have. It's been a
Okay, I
while
was just
though.
double checking. See, there you go. See, now you know the full context of the hospital
Yeah,
scene.
yeah, I
It's
do
weird.
know.
People
It's
just
Yeah.
people
it's
talk about the hospital scene, and when you actually watch it, it's quite tame. And also the fact that it's at the beginning of the movie makes it funnier. Like what the fuck?
No, see,
You're
that's
like
what's like
it's like
ironic
to be
about
fair,
it's kind of like the Peter
to,
meme. Where it's like I just sat down. Who the fuck starts a
Yeah,
conversation
no, see,
like
that's
this?
what the
to
that
be,
was so funny about the hospital scene, right? Because I remember I was like, when I watched Evangelion, that was the whole reason I even watched it because my friends kept memeing it and I want to know what it meant. But then, like, I watched it, right? And it wasn't even like I was disgusted by what happened. I was so baffled because they open and then you're just moving on. I don't even think the credits had started before they
I feel
stopped.
like in a
Yeah.
No, no,
way,
no, slow down, slow down. We gotta hold on this a little more. You can't
I
just
get I
pretend things are fine after that.
No, they just
That's
to
keep
be
going.
fair,
That's the thing about End of Evangelion. It's kind of like Pink Flamingos, where they just keep throwing worser and worser events at you, and it's really funny. Yeah.
yeah, in my opinion, it was like that's kind of the reason why the film works because like End of Evangelion is supposed to be a deconstruction because like it's kind of supposed to be like a middle figure because like of the way the original ending was like
Yeah,
received
the original ending
and
fucking
like
sucks.
no it
well,
doesn't no
well.
it
Yes, it
Okay,
does
does. Yes, it
no
does.
it
look,
I will
doesn't
look,
no it
valiantly say
doesn't
that
look.
that
no
fucking
They
ending
did it
sucked.
on. They were literally
no
running out of budget. I think it's cool they
They
did
were
the
running out of
sequence
budget.
where they had
It's
the.
cheap. It's cheap. They're trying to
no
make
no
art
it's
out
not
of
it's
nothing.
unique
Make art
it's a
out of
unique
garbage.
vision it's
Fuck
a
you.
unique
Oh, you
artistic
had enough.
vision
It's
it's
such
a
Cool.
nonsense. It's
no
The
it's
nonsense.
not
visuals they
it's
It's
look
too
good,
nonsense
right?
optimistic. It doesn't deconstruct Shinji. It forgives him for all his stupid actions. I hate it. Fuck off.
No, but
just
it's
shut
nice though.
No,
He
it
goes like
isn't.
it
But it
has
doesn't
nice
have to be nice.
emotion.
End of Evangelion needs to be nihilistic. It needs to.
It,
Fuck it. It's
in
such a.
Okay,
in a
well,
way, that's the
I'll
point of the
kind of
original
give you
ending,
that.
because like it's supposed to be like
Okay.
what Shinji wishes would
What's the
happen, but then like End
consequences
of
of it?
Evangelion
Okay.
happens,
Did you not,
End of
at the
Evangelion
very least,
happens.
feel a little bit happy for Shinji when everyone said like
No! What happened to
congratulations?
the rest of the plot?
Why?
Fuck the
Wow.
congratulations. Fuck it. You wanna know why it's a meme? Cause it's a joke. It's a fucking joke.
No, no,
Yes.
Congratulations,
I
congratulations,
was very moved by
congratulations,
that part. Okay,
congratulations.
I was very moved.
Anyway. Fuck.
What were we talking about? What were we talking about?
I don't know where
Anyway,
that came
back to
from.
Evangelion 3.0.
It's all my fault.
No.
So as you can tell, this is the breaking point of the dumps. I fucking hate all of you. I hate Evangelion. Kill yourself.
I really like the part where Shinji accidentally burns down his Eva suit with a torch. That's a great scene.
Oh, alright.
Waru, don't go in the sex slave ring. No.
Okay, so I think we
Get
should
in
get
the
back on
robot,
topic.
Divine.
So I, Hal, will keep this copy of Pink Flamingos.
Yeah, actually, we could talk about the Criterion if you want to, because
Yeah.
it's important.
Um.
What's on that Criterion about? I've always been
Okay.
curious.
So there's some pretty nice stuff. It's a 4K restoration. It's still
Nice.
grainy as hell, but like that's part of the style, you know.
Yeah,
It
you
has
gotta
a
keep that
documentary
grain.
called
You can't smooth it out.
it has two audio commentaries. One is from the original Laserdisc release, and the other one is from the first DVD
Oh
release.
yeah, the
So that's both of those.
2001 or 2004 one. I forgot which.
I don't remember when it came out, but it was around that
Yeah.
time. It also has a documentary called Divine Trash, which is all about Divine during the making of Pink Flamingos. I did not get a chance to watch it,
Ooh.
but like I'm going to watch it at some point.
There's also
It's
the
also a
I Am
Tubi.
Divine one, but yeah.
Yeah, that
Is it the same
yeah.
thing? I can't tell.
I think I. Oh wait, that's the original of 1998 documentary. It also has. Does it also have the I Am Divine one? I don't.
I don't
Wait, let me
know.
rate
Are
this.
they like the same thing? I can never
I
tell.
don't. No, they're not. They're not the same thing.
Mm,
But
interesting.
there's also two. But there's also a new conversation between Waters and Jim Jamrouche. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. That I really did a bad job pronouncing that.
Yeah,
It also
that's
has
fine.
it also has the stuff about like how they like recorded everything on set, and like met the owners of like the locations now.
Oh,
It's really
nice.
funny.
Yeah, okay, that's
He
funny.
he
That
actually got the
does sound
Lichter
cute.
railing. He got the Lichter railing at the end of it, like what Divine did. So
Oh,
that was very.
that was
It's,
nice.
That's
and
nice.
You
it
licked
also
the
has
railing.
it also has the Criterion version of like when he talked about like some of the context behind like the deleted scenes, and he also has the actual original deleted scenes, so that's really nice.
Nice, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it's a really nice release. It also has it has a paper. It's basically a sleeve that has like a nice cover underneath it, and it also has the usual booklet. But there's one thing in like it had originally like a very first edition of the release where it had a little barf bag with it.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
because I think I
Yeah, but
remember.
it's
that's a
Because
good
this
yeah
idea.
is
that's
Pink
just
Flamingos is one of those first midnight movies. If you don't know what a midnight movie is, it's like something like I think that Pink Flamingos, Eraserhead, and El Topo were like the main like LSD drug films, like midnight films,
yeah.
which also spawned in the Rocky Horror Picture Show midnight movies, which do still exist. I saw a screening at my like local theater. I didn't go see it, but like it's there. And yeah, it was one of those things. And yeah, I think sometimes they gave out barf bags, and they put sawdust on the floor so it'd be easier to get the barf if it went really bad. That sounds really funny, but yeah.
Yeah, but the big catch is that like when it came into the morph bag, it was with the early editions of this Criterion, and it does not
Aw,
include like
no
the
barf
newer
bag
ones.
in
But
the
like,
new edition. Aw.
but you can still
Oh,
like
that's
find it
sad.
online for like probably cheap because like, but like it's either way. Like you do have to like you find your way to get it.
Yeah,
But like it's
life
still
always
a
finds a
really
way.
funny thing that they did include. But also the booklet is like basically like a newspaper, like what Divine had in the film. So that's really
Oh,
funny.
that's cool. Yeah. I always really liked the
But
cover
yeah,
and
it's
like all that shit. It always looked nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice release. I highly recommend it. It's a 10 out of 10 Criterion release.
Mm,
Oh, that's
is it
nice.
on
And
If
I'm
I
saying
had
this
on
like
money to
par with?
buy Criterion, I would buy
I
that
might
definitely.
I
You get it this
I
Christmas. It'll be for the whole
That's a good
family.
idea. I'll open it up right
all,
under the
all,
Christmas tree in a nice little
all I'm
box.
saying right now is I buy non-stop Criterion. So next time the Criterion sale happens, I'm gonna buy all of the rest of John Waters films.
Haha, you genius.
Yeah,
It's all gonna work out.
I'm gonna I'm gonna become the Criterion John Waters expert.
But yeah, does anyone else have anything else to say before we move on?
I have
All I have to say
one
is filth is my
thing.
politics, filth is my life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we got nothing
Yeah.
else?
Actually, I do have one more thing to
Not
say.
really, no.
We would
Oh.
be remiss not to mention. You both have heard of kitty flamingos, right? The
Oh yes, of course,
Oh
of
yeah.
Yeah,
course.
I've
I
not
just
seen it
wanted to
yet, but
mention it.
Iconic.
like,
I don't know much about where I can actually watch it. I do want to watch that if there is a
It was like a
website
mainly
that will
like a
show it.
live performance thing, which is why there's no like actual footage of it, unless there
Yeah,
is.
but
no,
I
there's
find
footage.
that
No,
I want to
If
just
there's
watch
there's like
footage
a
if there's
to
footage of
make
it,
it
please
quick
send it to
memory.
me. I need this.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
gonna try to find like because I don't know how it was released, but like I know that there's like a full recording of it. I
I know
think
there's a live
John,
performance, and it was like a like tour, like a live performance thing, but I don't know where you can find
but
it.
But yeah, it's really funny because like he talked about a tiny bit at, like near the end of like his new interview, and like he talked about like how pretty much like it's pretty much like a what Pink Flamingos would be if he like gave into the censors.
Oh, yeah. I was worried for a second. Like when I heard that concept, I'm
don't
like, oh, what?
don't
Not
worry,
the
don't worry. At
kids.
the end of the film, they eat dog food. They eat dog food, not
Oh,
dog the
close
shit.
enough. That's close enough.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's clever.
you clever fucks. Wow, that's great.
Classic John.
I wish we could find it someday.
I'll find it. We'll find it. I'll find it. That'll be our next episode, Kitty Flamingos.
We'll bring you
Yippee!
both back for John Waters at some point.
Zap.
Yeah, we're gonna do every single John Waters film.
Mmm, yeah, that's delightfully devilish. Anyway, um, let's move on to multiple maniacs, and you
Yeah.
know what? I'll let Brian introduce this one. Why not? Let's.
Okay. So, Multiple Maniacs was before this. I believe it was John Waters' second movie. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was his
Pretty
after
second.
sure.
the silent movie one, I forgot what it was called, but that had like a lot
It was
of
Mondo
yeah,
Trasho.
Mono Trasher, which had a lot of
Yeah.
licensed
After
music, which
Mondo
why you
Trash
can't
Us,
find
this is
besides the VHS.
yeah, definitely earlier on. A little more rough, and definitely I don't know the exact budget, but I know it's definitely lower. This
Oh,
is
definitely,
a
definitely.
black and white movie.
I think it was like
Ooh. Which kind
$5,000.
of makes it
Oh,
funnier to
how
me
can I
because
watch
it's
it?
like
It's
this.
in black and white. I need it to be colorized.
I wonder if I colorized Multiple
It's
Maniacs.
kind of like the people who walked into
But anyway,
Oppenheimer's like, why is half the movie not colored? What the fuck? Like, shut up.
Are they stupid?
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, this is
But
a black and
anyways,
white
this
production.
one's so so essentially to describe this movie in the most elegant of metaphors possible. Imagine my recent drama with the regular show character High Five Ghost, except I am Divine and Mr. David, he is Mr. Ghost. Essentially, to say Mr. David, let's just say, cheats on Divine after he's like, "Oh, Divine's weird now. I can't be Divine's girlfriend anymore." And then this sends Divine down let's just say, a very
Spiritual,
wacky path.
spiritual
Yeah,
avenue.
yeah. She finds God, I guess.
In a
That
way,
kind of
yeah,
happens,
yeah, I guess.
and then and then she gets raped
Yep.
by a lobster. But
Larry the
that's a whole
Lobster.
other thing.
Larry.
Larry the Lobster. Larry
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Lobster. All the lobsters. All the lobsters.
I think I think this is like a very good companion piece to Pink Flamingos, and I think I might like this more, but they're just despite both definitely having the water stamp on them, they're very different movies, kind of. Because I don't know,
I don't know.
Pink Flamingos has that reputation. It's very big, very bombastic, very this and that.
Very
Whereas
meta.
Multiple Maniacs,
Oh.
I don't want to say it's not disgusting because you know, it's a John Waters movie. A lot of it is, but I feel like a lot of it is more like, I guess, subdued, I guess, which kind of makes when wacky shit happens funnier because it's a little more, like, well, not
I
normal,
feel
but you
like
know what I mean. It
I
doesn't
feel like
have, like,
Multiple Maniacs is more unhinged to like the average John Waters films I've seen. Like, so I've only seen three,
It's
but like the
it's
weird
just,
moments in this one are like
it's
a bit more
insane,
out of
but in, like, a
nowhere.
different way because you don't, like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
Yeah.
this one's
Like the lobster scene.
because I feel like a lot of his films are about like popularity or the way people like look at them, and so both
Yeah,
of these are presented in a documentary style, and they present like filth as like entertainment, as a way of life in a way, and there's like such a
Yeah.
way of like there's such overemphasis on the delivery
yeah,
of every line, and there's like such a juxtaposition to it by making it very awkward and documentarian that it creates this very certain vibe you cannot find anywhere else. And with multiple maniacs, it's less about how fake sometimes like something like a porno can be, where else as this, it's more of just an insane person who is too proud and too gluttonous to understand how much they're like
yeah,
destroying themselves
exactly.
in a way, and how they're just misinterpreting things, and how they basically are trying to cope through religion. There's a lot of religious themes because the Pink Flamingos is more about 50s culture and
Yeah,
like 50s families, while this is more about religion, which I was not expecting
Yeah,
that.
there's a lot of
I was
religious
not
stuff
expecting that.
Yeah,
cause like just to see like I guess it got brought out of out of nowhere cause like there's this little like kid pastor which is really funny to begin with
Yeah.
that
yeah.
happened that like just brings her to a church and it's things and there's like also like a bunch of like rants about like Jesus and like how he's put on the crucifix and stuff
Super
like it's
weird.
super
Super weird.
weird like it's
Yeah.
very religious.
I couldn't believe it myself, but it was a very religious experience.
Did not expect the
Yeah,
rosary up Divine's ass bit. You know, it was certainly something.
yeah, Rose job.
Right. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah. But yeah, the main thing that you could get out of the religious scenes are the main part where she finds God and like she does tell the story of Jesus, but it's sort of misinterpreted. I couldn't tell, but
yeah.
it's very
I don't know.
weird.
It's kind of a weird scene. Like it just like it's a very detailed description of like Jesus. Meanwhile, like again, more John Waters shit's happening. But I was very fascinated by that part. It's such a
I
weird
think it's
scene.
like because
And then
it's trying to talk about it's a lot more of a natural movie, whereas like Pink Flamingos is more plastic in a way, where this one's like presenting like a natural thing, this as if Divine's character sees herself as like
Yeah.
a Jesus herself, because
Yeah.
like she has literal sex as she describes the story of Jesus, and is pleasuring herself based on that or like finding identity through that in a way. I couldn't tell exactly. This one's a lot more harder to like pin down exactly what it all means, especially on a first viewing, because as I
I think
said,
it has
rewatching
like
shit is very important, with especially like
yeah.
analyzing things or whatever, which is what I did for
I
Pink Flamingos. But this is just
I
like
think this
hard to
one
pin
has
down.
less of an active meaning because Pink Flamingos has that very specific like cultural commentary where this is just
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
this one kind of
it
fucks
has
around a
a
lot
religious
more.
theming, but fuck if I know what it means
Yeah.
exactly.
It fucks a lot around a lot more, which makes things a lot more vague to describe because it kind of just mushes together and is paced a lot more weirder than Pink Flamingos. Because Pink Flamingos moves from
Yeah.
event to
I think
event
that's
to
my main
event to
issue.
event, and it's like, yeah, we keep going. Well, Multiple Maniacs is a lot more slower, and I think that's what I kind of like about it and what I kind of dislike about it at the same time, which is why I find it
Yeah,
difficult
that's my
to
main issue
like
with
choose whether or not either of these two are better per se. I don't know.
for me at least like that's my main issue with this film like it's still really good I still really enjoy it but like Pink Flamingos like I prefer it's much more like frantic pacing well not frantic because like it still takes its time but like with this film like it feels like it kind of drags a bit more for
Yeah,
me
no,
and like
very, very
I
clearly
just
so.
I it's just it doesn't it's just by the ends like and like not as much feels like it happens like in Pink Flamingos like
Yeah,
Pink Flamingos like so much shit happens while if this film like a lot still happens but it's like a bit more like constrained in my
yeah. There's a
opinion.
lot of
It's not as
long
satisfying for
dialogue
me.
scenes that just kind of characters like explaining shit. Not in
Yeah,
like a bad way. I find it
No,
entertaining
there's
because of
some
how
really entertaining
weird like
dialogue scenes. A
everything
lot more
is.
dialogue to
But
this, but it adds a
yeah,
lot. But and sometimes I'm like, okay, you're
yeah.
explaining Jesus. Can we keep moving along here?
Exactly.
Like,
For me, at least,
come
like
on,
the thing
man.
with John Waters is
yeah,
that he's not very great at dialogue, which is an issue because like his movies are very funny with it, but like it's in like actual like dialogue. It's just like
His movies are very visual.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like his
I don't think he's not the best at writing like traditional dialogue, but I think he knows the type of shit he likes to write, and he's very
yeah,
good at that.
Yeah, the way he
I don't know.
describes his movies
John Waters
are
can't make a normal movie. That's
Yeah, the
essentially
way
what I'm
his
saying. But
abstract way of describing his movies is they are celluloid disasters. If you don't know what celluloid means, it means a flammable plastic. And so I guess he describes them as just something that could easily just break apart, and that's what makes like so much of his films feel hard to decipher sometimes,
yeah,
especially with just how much
yeah,
shock there is to them, that it kind of covers up like there's something there. It's just I haven't figured it out because I'm barfing in a bag, you
yeah,
know,
exactly.
that type of
yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Oh man, and this one is just like, oh, okay, we're being vague about things. I don't know what's going on, and then at the end, just Divine just loses it, kills everyone, breaks cars, and I'm like, okay,
And she gets killed by a firing squad.
yeah.
Yeah,
After getting raped
fuck.
by a
Like the
lobster.
ending of this movie is so funny. Like, yeah, Divine after Divine goes insane, she like dies, And then that's when they play the dramatic music and everything. It's such a weird contrast to how everything else is. But the end bit especially got me, and the lobster that was
The
also
lobster bit
Yeah.
was so out of nowhere that I just laughed uncontrollably as it was going. I'm like, what the fuck are you
Like
keep
here's the thing,
talking
I was
about?
like, huh?
like
Pardon,
for me at least, like it was just kind of because it's
lobster?
like while I was watching it, I was just sitting there being like, "Huh, you know what? Like this is pretty good," but it sounds like pretty normal John Waters affair. And then like all of a sudden, the lobster came, and I was like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you talking about, Little John? What is this? Why is there a giant lobster? What the fuck happened?
Who are you talking to? What are you talking about? What does this have to do with the plot, John Waters? Tell me
What did
what's
Vince
happening."
mean by this?
Apparently, one dude made that giant lobster, and then the guy
It's
returned.
very good.
The guy returned to Pink Flamingos, was given $100 and just made the trailer in that movie. That was the budget for their fucking production. That was amazing.
So funny.
Yeah.
That's so.
I
The
wish
way
that
like
that
trailer for Big
lobster
Flamingos was really
definitely still
good.
doesn't exist, but I
Oh
wish
man,
it
I
did.
wish it was like in a
That'd be cool.
museum. It'd be amazing.
Yeah,
Wish it existed.
All of his films should be in
that
a
would be
museum, but
cool.
just like playing forever.
Thank you, Criterion, for preserving these movies. It's so funny.
Thank you. Next, we gotta get Mondo Trasho in there, so that could be out
Well, yeah,
VHS
the problem
quality.
with that one is, it's still in VHS quality, and mainly because it would take like a millions or millions of dollars to get like the musical rights, which is used in the film, which is what mainly what John was like. His problems were it was not his shock value, although it was a major part of him. But the main problem was just legal laws through copyright, and so that was like a big deal.
I don't know. I don't know. I still think like it'd be worth it. It'd be somewhat worth it to try to do it.
They'll do it someday. I hope it happens because if it's just
Yeah,
stuck
I
on
hope. I
like
hope.
crappy VHS
Hopefully.
quality, that would suck.
I
Yeah,
want Criterion to give it like a 4K disc.
that'd
It's
be
like,
really funny. I forget what
have
other
have it.
like John Waters films are in credit. I think Polyester is, and so is Hairspray.
Yeah, polyester. The films I no Hairspace not.
Aw, that sucks.
Yeah, the films that are on there are Female Trouble, Pink Flamingos, Polyester, and Multiple Maniacs. Those are all four right now.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, because I think Pink Flamingos, Female Trouble are like part of like a trilogy called the Filth Trilogy or the Trash Trilogy. I think.
Yeah, I think. Okay, let me look into that. I need to make sure, like what is technically part of that trilogy.
Yeah, but that's
Uh,
that's technically what it was. Excuse me, but
yeah.
yeah, it. But yeah, I'm sort of hard to try and to like put piece together multiple maniacs because I do have notes for it. I do have some notes, and
Okay,
it
so and
eventually
last
just
film is
But
Desperate
some, but the
Living.
film
Okay.
kind of speaks for itself in
one of the
places.
quotes that I
So
took
it's
was "Get her eyelashes." Because that was during the opening when they were like just they got everyone inside
uh,
and they're like showing Divine, and then immediately just like start mugging them. And so take
Yeah.
her eyelashes, like of all things, her eyelashes. That's
They
amazing.
had to take everything, They had to take their teeth, they had to take their, eyeballs, they had to take everything. But they'll still live. They'll still
Yeah,
live.
another thing about multiple maniacs is like there's a lot less sense of a family here because we're not talking about 50s families
Oh,
because everyone's like backstabbing each other. They all have their own thing
yeah,
going
yeah.
on.
There's a lot of betrayals. There's a lot of betrayals. There's a
Yeah, so I
lot.
have
There's a
twists and
tragedy in a
turns.
see,
sense. Yeah,
Divine technically has a family, but I'd be lying if I said I
They
could
were not
like
a functional
talk much
family.
about
They're not
any of them.
they're not
Like,
like mentally
I-
challenged and together. Like they don't like they're not like the Pink Flamingos gang where they all are working together and are helping each other. Everyone is against each other in this movie. They actively
yeah. The
hate
only
each other.
the only person who wasn't was like her daughter in the film, and then she died.
And then she died. That was an
yeah,
insane scene. And when Divine loses everything, she does care, which is weird because I can't. It's like these people are so toxic to each other, but at the same time, they cannot live without each other. That eventually it just kills them inside, and then the whole ending happens, and that's just weird, even weirder.
Yeah, where she like chases everyone and it's not a crowd, and then she gets gunned
yeah,
down in the Bronx.
Yeah,
yeah. See, that part's so sudden. Like that. I think the last act of Multiple Maniacs is really what like got me hooked on like really loving it because it's so this entire movie's kind of off the walls, but the end like couple minutes is just so what, huh?
yeah.
Like I was like. really what I was hooked on, at least in terms of like
Yeah, there's
compared to
like the
everything else.
hooker that Divine has sex with in the church. You're like, okay, where's this character going? She's presented as if she's like the church whore, and she's been resonated toward that. And in a way, it's kind of like everyone has all these roles, and then they're just getting worse and worse because of it. It's kind of like the It's Always Sunny cast, where they just get worse and worse and worse because they just keep filling these roles that they don't need to fill, and it's like weird. And I don't know what to make of
Hmm.
it. It's
A
weird.
specific metaphor, but that makes sense.
But yeah,
Uh,
no, you're kind
Dennis
of
is kind of like divine.
kind
Uh,
of. But yeah, the first two acts of
just
this
replace the
movie.
Golden God speech with the Pink Flamingos thing. It kind of has
Dennis
something
would
there.
say that. He would say that. Uh,
He
But
would
yeah,
fucking say that.
the first two acts of this movie are actually just pretty tame in comparison. But I think it might be just because it's a lot more slower pace, and then the third act just goes off the walls.
Yeah, exactly. The
Yeah,
third act is like what really like helps this movie, in my opinion.
yeah. I think watching this movie after Pink Flamingos kind of gives it a different vibe because, like, with there, you've already kind of seen the peak of what people consider the most like insane waters things. You watch the opening, and it's like, oh, what's this? It's like this
They're
queer
robbing people.
drag show, I guess. Okay,
Yeah,
they
no,
did
I
that.
like
That's
how like
normal.
these two gay
What?
people are kissing and they're like being genuinely happy with each other, and then everyone else around them are just like, "Ew,
Like,
gross,
it's a
disgusting,
queer.
it's a
You're right.
Ah.
That
queer."
does represent like the time,
Yeah, no,
because like some people
that's
would really like that.
that's the addition of the commentary. But yeah,
Yeah.
this thing's just like, yeah, okay, we get it, and then the third act just completely ties it all together in this neat bloodbath. It's great,
Yeah,
and
it's great. It's so
you
great. It's wonderful. It's very. It brought a tear to my eye.
you
You
could,
know what brought one to my eye as well?
yeah,
It's a beautiful movie.
It was your tear a semen one?
Yeah, yeah, sure. We'll go with
possibly
that.
both. Let's go with both. But yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
both of these movies, they're just. I think Pink Flamingos is more consistently insane, but I think Multiple Maniacs works with not being insane until its third act in its own way because they're all beneficial for their own movies and they work in their own
Yeah.
different functions. I haven't quite pinned down what Multiple Maniacs is about, but that's not denying
Multiple
that
Maniacs is about Satanism and why it's awesome.
maybe I have no idea.
Exactly.
I didn't do much research on Multiple Maniacs, but yeah, this
I
is a
didn't. I
great
didn't do
movie.
any.
Uh, yeah.
So I think John Waters
We could
movies are sometimes better left a mystery because you see this and you're like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to know why they made the lobster.
Yeah,
It's
it's
funner
like
to
the
guess at the
Uh,
Eraserhead
end.
baby. Just try to
I would love to.
guess. Yeah.
I would still love to do more research on this film. I'm planning on getting Criterion at some point, like I
Yeah, at
said
this
before,
point
because
we
like
Yeah,
barely scratched the surface on Waters. We can return on this, and
yeah,
we'd
yeah, we can
still
do
have a
all of his
lot.
films. We can do all of them. We can do all of them.
It'd be
yeah.
crazy, but
I,
it's a crazy effort,
I would
but
We
love to
could
talk
do
about
it just
female. I would love to talk about female trouble as well.
yeah. We could talk about Cecil B. Demented and Homer's phobia.
oh yeah.
Oh
all these
Speaking of
yeah,
films.
which, we both watched
Yeah,
Homer's Phobia in preparation for this.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
didn't,
think you're the
but I
same
remember
on
that
this, but
episode
that was the
vividly.
first time I was ever exposed to what a John Waters is. Because,
Yeah,
For me, at
that
least, like
back
I
in
was
didn't
my
even know it
that
Simpsons
was
was
John
era, I
Waters
wouldn't know
until
amazing.
what a Pink
recently.
Flamingos is.
Yeah.
And for years, John Waters was just, oh, he was the guy who was on The Simpsons. But now,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of neat looking at it now because Homer's phobia is, it's kind of like Pink Flamingos. They both pushed the boundaries for the time, just in
Exactly, but in
different
Yeah.
very
ways
different
at the
ways,
end
and
of
like
it.
it was like
Yeah,
what they
cause
were,
I don't know. Homer's anime is a very interesting case where you not expect it to exist, but it does, and the fact that it does is insane to me. Like they got John Waters on for this, and he agreed to this,
You said
which
Homer's
makes sense.
enemy.
Oh wait, why did I
Yeah.
say Homer's enemy? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you did say Homer's enemy. I was being like, wait, are you?
Homer's Phobia. Yeah, Homer's Phobia is just a
Okay.
interesting and groundbreaking episode of television because it won an Emmy for its as an outstanding animation program, which is for a reason because somehow in the peak of Simpsons popularity, they were able to not cause controversy over gay rights and the way people view gay people through this one episode because it was so good, or it was maybe because just The Simpsons
Yeah.
was so popular that no one could refute what it was claiming because it does present gay stereotypes, but none of like gay like associations, they never really were against the representation in there. They find
Yeah.
described it as a sort of like they did use stereotypes, but in a sort of funny way, not in a demented
Yeah.
way. Where
No, no, it's never beating down on anyone. And plus, honestly, I think John Waters doesn't. He probably doesn't act far too different from his character in the episode,
Yeah.
which is why I don't think it was any like malice or anything.
Live your
The only
life.
thing I
Watch a
think
fucked up
I heard
film.
is that the only thing John objected to is that they made Homer say fag originally when he was like, "Oh, can you say queer instead?" I don't like the use of the word fag. But anyway, but other than that, it was
Don't need to
like
say slurs
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but no, but I don't know. It really is an interesting episode to me, like, especially when you contrast it to John Waters' like actual career. I think
Yeah.
it's a
I
really
think I
neat.
just love how like it presents Homer not as like this villain, but he just
Yeah,
misunderstands everything. Where it's like he
yeah,
genuinely likes
exactly.
John before he learns he's gay, and that leaves you thinking, well, if he's a good person, why wouldn't you want to be friends with him? Is it just because he's gay? And that sort of breaks the stigma. And even though he acts gay, and even Marge, like that's how they reveal it. Like Marge figures it out based on very obvious factoids. They still hang out with him and they still enjoy his company because even if he acts different, they still enjoy
He's
him.
still a good person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it
And
really does show how like internal it is, because like John like comes to Homer about her. He's like, Homer, what have you got against gays? And he can't even really give a reason. He's just like, it's not
right, it's
usual.
not
But really,
usual.
it's
He thinks
just
it's
not what he's used to,
yeah, it's not what
which
he
just
used
makes
to.
him scared of it in a weird way, I guess.
Yeah,
Which really is what
it
I can't
speaks.
speak for
It
most
speaks
people,
to a
but
lot
yeah,
of how people
that
view
really is what
this,
it is a
where
lot.
they're like,
Yeah,
because it doesn't just describe the way people view queers, but also it describes the way people look at racism, where it's like they're looking at it external way where they're not viewing it as people, but they're viewing it as an idea. They're viewing it as like
yeah,
Exactly.
the
exactly.
way people have like stigmatized it, and it's so brilliant. And then the ending is about like them shooting deer for some reason, and it's completely
Yeah,
ridiculous. But John's little
yeah,
like the way he enjoys like camp and his like little gift shop is what saves them, and that's like just an amazing
yeah.
moment. It's
Yeah, they all tie
Yeah.
it back well. They like because they have the gag with the robot Santa
yeah,
or whatever, and that's what saves them in the end.
that just reminded me of
Yeah.
Rocky Four, so that was funny.
Now, now that made me think. I was like, oh, it's a literal robot Santa. Is
Well,
that
like in
where they
the it's
got
like
it
in
on the
Futurama,
Futurama?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
what I
I'm
was
thinking.
thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
did that hack Matt steal it from his own show? Typical,
How dare Matt steal
typical
from
Matt
Matt?
Groening.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Rubbish.
he didn't. He technically didn't steal from himself.
Yeah.
He probably coughed on the set of Homer's Enemy, and that was why he got his name in the credits.
All right, Matt. Do you want to write one line in this episode? Yeah, sure. And he gets writing credit. Yeah, cause
Can
if
you
you
write the word Homer in the script? I got it.
no, cause if you look at cause I know me and Brian we found out like Matt Groening's like writing credits for Futurama,
Yeah.
and he's done three, like three or four, and one of them was a random Leela episode, which is bad.
It was like I think it was like the pilot and like
Yeah, of
one
course. Well, of
other.
course he did the pilot.
Even though he did the pilot, I think one other season one episode or something,
Yeah.
and then season six is Inagata Dalila, which that episode fucking
Yeah, that
sucks.
episode fucking
So of
sucks.
course,
Yeah,
well, no, it was funny. It wasn't even a writing credit; it was an idea credit. It
yeah.
was
So
Matt's
he came up
Idea
with the
idea.
credit.
idea, and then he gets all the credit. I think
Yeah.
it's so funny to me that Matt Groening like capitalizes on merely his signature, which is why it's on everything. Like
It's
I went to the Simpsons, right, and I
every
looked at
day I
this
wake up
drawing, and
and I check the corner and there's a Matt Groening signature. And, but,
but yeah, I remember
yeah,
going
but
to
right now
Universal.
I'm holding up my squishy cup I got from Universal.
Yeah,
It has the Matt Groening
it
signature on
does.
it. I can't
Are you
escape.
telling me it does?
Yeah. No, no, no. I can send the picture later. There's a fucking Matt Groening signature on my goddamn Universal Simpsons squishy
Yeah, I was
cup.
talking about
Why
I
Universal.
bet
is
my itchy
Literally,
plush
I was like
has
in
a
line. I
Matt
was looking
Groening.
at like there was wall paintings, and then in the corner I see Matt Groening, and I'm thinking, Matt did not touch Universal. He hasn't even visited Universal.
Yeah, I fucking knew it. My itchy plush has a Mac Groening signature on the bottom. I can't escape.
Oh
It's
my
everywhere.
god, it's just everywhere.
Even
He's an
Matt
infection.
Groening put his signature on my bottom.
Oh, Matt
Yeah,
Groening is on
it's
my
everywhere.
arm. Like, where could he be? It's insane.
Fuck, Matt's lack of involvement in The Simpsons is so funny. There was like this one commentary track I've seen where it's like, guys, I have not seen this episode. I wasn't there when you guys made it. I didn't see it. So he spends the commentary just sitting around while people have actually seen it talk about it. He's like, and then at the end, he's like, "Wow, guys, that was a really good episode." And he's like, "What, bro? Why are you here? You didn't watch it.
I mean,
You're
as
not
executive
involved."
producer, he's probably made decisions. I can't deny that on like a lot of episodes, but he doesn't write them. He's not. He doesn't have the clever, witty jokes. He hasn't written Marge versus the Monorail. He hasn't written Camp Fear.
Yeah,
He hasn't written anything.
really, it
What
is
it's
just kind of annoying to me inherently because The Simpsons, that golden era, has such a strong writers room. You can't credit The Simpsons to one person because really it's like a dozens of people who
yeah, you
added
can't like
their
that
own
with any show to be
styles and
fair.
voice to it. And then Matt Groening's just over there in the corner and he's like, "Hi guys, hi."
He's
I
like
Like
do.
he
he's
Okay,
all like
definitely didn't
here.
do nothing,
I
but it's
do
like, come
believe in
on.
auteur theory somewhat, where it's like, yeah, this is a person's vision, but it's made up by a lot of people who helped create that vision, and also like for this
Mhm.
show's case, this is definitely not Matt's vision. This was like
Yeah,
a combination
exactly.
of so many different people's way, because you know Simpsons in itself and Springfield in itself is like just a giant mechanism of America itself, which is
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's all melting pot.
Which I guess in a way John Waters connects to it because you know he looks in a specific period of America, whereas The Simpsons was just is basically a monument to all of the 80s and 90s, which that's crazy to think about. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's they're yeah. I really like the show The
Okay.
Simpsons. Yeah,
Okay, bring it
Yeah,
back to John
yeah.
Waters. What's your opinion on the John Waters smoking ad? The John Waters.
Yeah, it's available for some reason on the Oscar like YouTube page, like the official one. It's a really funny ad because he's smoking. Say, "Do not smoke in the theater," and it's amazing.
But I get why you would want to. It's so delicious, and he's just like moaning. He's like, "Ooh, it's so good. Ooh, it's so funny. It's
Yeah,
so funny."
yeah. John Waters might be
John
my
Okay,
Waters
favorite
just being
person.
in media is funny because he had even when he has such this presence to him, like when you see him, he has
That's not.
like his personalities and everything. Even if it's in Alvin and the Chipmunks for the road trip.
I was
Yeah. Okay.
about to bring
Let
it
me
up
talk
because
about this. Okay. So I was watching this
Don't
like
judge me.
documentary.
I saw Pink Flamingos.
Come on. But yeah. Anyway, I was like watching this mini documentary on like how impactful like Pink Flamingos was. And the Jackass guys. Now, if you don't know, if you haven't followed my letterbox, I've been recently watching the Jackass movies. They're great. I love them. And I think Steve-O, one of the cast members of Jackass, he credits Pink Flamingos for the fact that Jackass exists in the first place, and yeah, that explains a lot, and
Oh,
it's
that's
crazy
actually
to
nice
think
that they
about.
were able to get him on for one of them ads. Like it comes full circle.
Yeah, because he's in Jackass number two, where he just says, "Hi, I'm John Waters, and this is my magic trick," and then a giant fat man just topples over onto the bed like right above Wee Man, you know, the short guy in the group, and he just starts like having sex with him, and he's just like, wow. And at the end they're like,
Oh
oh,
boy.
oh, oh, John, you're a wonderful magician. It's great. He doesn't do anything, but it's funny that he's just
Oh,
there.
John.
And,
but man, it was a magic trick.
yeah, and then the fact that he's in the road trip, like the fourth Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, Alvin and the Chipmunks Road Trip 2015, and he's just on the airport, and it confirms that
I just
Alvin.
genuinely want to know what the story was there.
I don't. I
See,
want
it's
to
one
know.
thing to have John Waters show up, but it's another to have Alvin literally say, "I saw
Nice.
pink
Hey, don't.
flamingos."
Okay, there's a
Hey,
funny
Not
thing
don't
like
about that
a
judge
line. There's a
me.
like
funny
a
thing
I've
about that
seen
joke.
Pink
line.
What
Flamingos.
happened?
The funny thing about that line is that like it was added in post. Like John Waters did not know he was going to say that till like the film was out.
Yeah, the pro.
He had no he had no idea. The poor man
No,
was
because
thinking,
he was
"Hey,
like,
I'm just gonna be in
no, because
this."
Okay,
the
hold
exact
on.
line is what Alvin says is, don't judge, don't judge me. I've seen Pink Flamingos. Like, how did he watch it? Did you watch it with all
Yeah,
his
okay,
Yeah,
brothers?
wait a
exactly.
minute. Oh my god, I just realized something.
Uh,
The reason they've seen Pink Flamingos, that's why the Simon Head debates exist. Simon learned head from the Pink Flamingos graphic novel. Yeah.
Oh,
oh.
oh
I,
shit!
I
The
get it
universe
now.
is.
I finally get it. Oh my god. It
But
all
yeah,
makes
no,
sense now.
it's crazy that
But
he's in that movie and he has like a very prominent scene. I'm imagining thinking like Dave buys like the Criterion of like Pink Flamingos and he like hides it in his safe, but Alvin steals it and watches the movie. I think that's
Alvin!
like my
Where's
theory.
my copy of Pink Flamingos?
Dave, you left the Criterion out in the open. Alvin!
uh,
It'd be like that,
but yeah,
definitely.
who wrote that line? Who wrote that scene? What made them
I do
think?
want to
That's the.
know.
I
I don't
do
know.
want to know.
Honestly, what it probably is it was the fourth Alvin movie. I don't think anyone gave a shit then, so they're like,
Wait a
no
minute,
one's
That's
gonna
why it's
no,
the
it
finish
had
best
this
very
written
good
thing.
comic.
because like literally no one gave a shit, so they tried their
No, no,
best
You
with
that's
know,
what
the.
they
the only
had.
people who cared about Road Trip are like hardcore Alvin heads,
No,
and
no,
that's
no,
like two
no, no, no.
people.
You have to understand,
So
Road Trip was a huge movie because it
yeah,
came out the
you
same day as The
exactly.
Force Awakens.
But yeah, I'll talk about it some other time. But yeah, the Alvin quadrilogy is a very, very good trilogy.
No, it's
Quadrilogy.
not.
I
It's
don't
amazing.
even know.
No, it's not. Shut up. Kill yourself.
Shipwrecked is peak man. Better than better than Evangelion's ending.
Well, I mean, well, four doesn't have David Cross in it, so
That's true.
that's the
But
and they need an okay. Can we have like a dramatic Alvin 5 that's like a legacy sequel where like they dramatically bring back Ian? Can we
no,
Okay,
have
no,
no.
that?
no.
Can
Here's my
Ian?
idea.
Okay, you
Here's
know
my
that
idea.
meme for Breaking Bad where for some reason Hank like just pulls his hand out of he like gets out of the desert and he's like he rises from the fucking grave. Fucking stupid. But instead it's David Cross.
Here's my idea.
But
Here's my
the
idea. For
problem
the
with
Pink.
that is that David Cross hated working on those movies, so
Yeah.
yeah.
No, no,
Here's my
make it
idea.
like
Here's my
Logan,
idea.
where it's like some solo movie where like David Cross is just on his own as Ian. It could be about his
Just call it
business,
Ian.
like unrelated from the Chipmunks.
Ian
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Alvin
yeah,
and
yeah.
Chipmunk story.
Okay, here's
Yeah.
my idea. Here's my idea in terms of what we
No,
do.
from the book
Okay,
of Alvin
for
and
Alvin
Chipmunks,
and
that's what I meant.
for Alvin and Chipmunks 5, they have
Chris
John Waters direct it.
Wait, what was your idea?
Oh man.
Okay, for Alvin and Chipmunks 5, they have John Waters direct it. That's the only way it can work.
Yes. This sounds glorious. It's just
He
like
would
final
prove the
film.
head debates with that movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which it's very clearly Simon, guys. Come on. It's very clearly Simon. It's Simon.
I don't know. Alvin looks pretty great there.
No, no. Are you an Alvinist? Are you an Alvinist?
Oh
In
man,
some ways,
okay. I really wish I had time, but I could explain my whole Simon like ideology. Cause like,
it would take like 6 hours. Is that the reason why you don't have time for it? Because we got
well,
all day right
yeah, but
now.
I could go over the brief version. See to summarize right, the whole idea is that Alvin, he's cocky. He has too much of a reputation. You're not gonna want to go to him for like head. It's a bad look. And Theodore, frankly, I don't think he wants it.
He's
Right?
too
It's like who
weak.
cares?
He's too weak.
Yeah, he's too tall. He's too tiny.
See,
But
no, see, when you look
Simon,
at
he's
the
like the
image,
middle
it doesn't
ground.
look like that
See,
he's feeling happy. It just looks like he's in pain. Like he doesn't know what to feel.
yeah, I'm not even like, and like I know people use the image, but that's like outside material. If you're going in the movies, see Simon famously turns into Simon
Simon.
in Alvin and the
Which is
Chipmunks at
basically just
Shipwreck.
adding
So
E, Simon, which is
yeah,
literally like
so
a
clearly
thing we do as a joke. So
he
it's
has
great.
some riz there.
Yeah, he
He
does.
has the ability. That's essentially
He
what I'm saying.
understands what a
The,
blowjob is. He
the
feels it.
point is Simon kind of wins by default, but if you include the humans, it's obviously Ian. So that's essentially the
Yo,
twist.
David Cross would have a really good orgasm face. I have to admit.
Exactly.
Speaking of
Alvin,
orgasms,
Alvin.
you wanted to talk about Salo, right? Israel.
Um. Oh boy, I got some words against Salo.
Go
Well,
ahead.
just
I don't care about
it sucked.
spoilers.
Okay, so Solo is a very unique film, and the fact that like it's very boring and like
It's
only like
fucking boring.
Do you think it sets its tone and states that it's fucking boring? You know. Is that what it's like?
The main issue with Salo is the fact that the fact that it's so slow and like not much actually happens in it. At least it
Oh,
doesn't feel that way.
oh,
It's 2 hours long and
two
like it feels
hours?
like
Oh
for
my
like
god, Jesus
yeah, it's
Christ.
2 hours long and like some people really like try to like hail it as like one of the most disturbing films ever made. It's not like the concepts themselves are like somewhat disturbing, but like most of the time it really does not feel that effective in my opinion. Compared to something like Martyrs, it's really not nearly as like memorable or effective or like uncomfortable. It's really dull in comparison. I'll say
It's impactful
it's
in the fact that it's shock value, but it's not actually shocking in its art. Is what you're trying to say,
yeah
right?
that's my issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
The
one
thing
big
with
scenes that
Solo, right, is I probably could stomach that, but I'm not. See, Pink Flamingos is a funny movie, so I don't feel disturbed by it. I don't want to watch like that. Like that just sounds lame. Like, ooh, look at how vulgar we are. We're making a meaning about
it's not,
capitalism. Like, shut up,
it's not really about
Solo.
it's not
You're not
it's not about
saying anything.
capitalism. You see, the thing is, like, you
Well,
try to see something, but like at the same time, it doesn't really go in depth about it. Like, it's trying to talk about about like because it is based on like an actual, if I'm not mistaken, actual like event during like near the end of World War II.
Yeah, yeah,
And like
yeah.
it was very much like the ideas for that time period are like uncomfortable, but like most of the time it's just not really that effective. Like, there's a couple of actually effective scenes in the film that I do like the final 5 minutes are the main ones I think about. Like that section was actually like kind of uncomfortable. Like that section was actually kind of cool, but like it felt, but like most of the film is just like most of the time it doesn't really even show that much shocking stuff. It's just like very much like a bunch of like dialogue. Strangely enough,
Oh,
dialogue. Yeah, it's like it has a lot of like weird like tangents. It's like
oh.
it's weird. It, it's so weird. It's hard to describe without you guys having seen it, but like not much really like it feels like not much really happens in it.
Is
Like
it the
by like
Evil
the
Dead Rise of shock value movies?
no.
Aw.
Because it still has somewhat of a style. I've not seen Evil Dead Rise, but I assume that's what you
Well, you
mean.
see, Evil Dead Rise is a nothing movie. Is Salo a nothing movie?
it's
No, I still
nothing.
think it like has something to it.
Hmm.
Like it has some interesting like elements in my opinion. Like direction, I actually do think it's good overall.
Oh,
But
okay.
like my main issue is just the fact that like I wish that like there was more of a purpose to it. Like it just doesn't feel like that. Like I remember like watching Sardana cast like episode on it, like after I was done watching it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I kind of agree with like Alex there, where he just talked about like how it kind of like is very like metaphorical without like not much else to like really support it. You know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Cause I think I read a review that assumed that like the director was like he was looking around and like during World War II when all this shit was happening and thinking, wow, that's so tragic. I'm gonna make a movie out of it. And even though that was a 5-star review, that kind of like shows that I think this director mostly saw it as a tragedy without actually having to experience it. He just saw all these things happen and he didn't know what to make of it. But
Yeah.
that's assuming because the director is dead. So
Yeah, the
yeah.
director was assassinated, and like we do not know like what we would have he would say about now. Like for me, at least, like another thing with the film is that like it's very distant. I would say it kind of reminds me of, like 2001 aspect, but like I like 2001 where like at first I did not like it, but like the time I've appreciated that film more. Like I like that film where it's like it's kind of like nice for it to be distant in a way. It's kind of like nice for it to be kind of like weirdly cold.
It applies where
The
like
film this film's
with it being cold, you could sort of make it like this is a statement of fact. This is what has happened. But at the same
Yeah,
time, you kind
exactly.
of
But
need
like
to
my
say
my
something
main
out of
issue,
that. So
my main issue is just more the fact that like there's nothing to really like connect to. That's my main issue with Salo, which isn't always an issue. I don't mind if it's just like an experience, but like there's not something I just want to like experience. I want it for it to like have a statement, you know. I
that makes
want to like
sense.
have something. I want more out of it. I want like why things that I like it's mostly just like in a way like mostly events, without like really getting to know who the characters are deep down. Like that's why
Yeah.
something like Martyrs works better in my opinion. Like fun stuff shit happens in that film, but like it feels like you really do get into like the headspace of the characters in terms of like who they are, why they
Yeah,
end up this
they
way,
all
you
have
know?
distinct personalities, which is why John Waters films stand out because they have character. They have a lot
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
character.
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I just wish I wish Solo was better. That's all I'm saying. Like I get it's impactful. Like I think it's important. Like I'm glad well I'm not glad, but like I'm also kind of glad I've seen it at least once, but so I can say I have seen it, and but I'm just saying if you ever do watch it, it really is not as extreme as most people say it is. So it has disturbing ideas, but like they're not really like disturbingly executed most of the time, you know.
That
Would,
yeah,
would would
makes
you
sense.
say at least Salo had some original ideas?
To be fair, it was based on it was not it was made of real life events, so like it wasn't original. Real life already did it, Shiva.
Oh.
Uh, well, it's
In
based
real
off
life already
events,
did
so
Well,
it's
it.
technically
bullshit
not
likely.
original. So
Yeah, exactly. Get some original ideas next
Oh.
time, dead man.
pull him out of his grave. Fuck.
Pull
Yeah.
out his grave and like kill him again.
Again. Fuck. Yeah. But
But
yeah.
yeah,
Uh.
but yeah,
Well, if
that's my
there's
tangent.
what else would what would the solid bonuses on the Criterion be if there's like no director
I
to
don't.
say anything about it?
That's the thing. They like.
I
Let me
don't
check
think
actually,
Salo
because
should have behind the scenes.
I feel
I
like it
don't
should.
think I want to see them.
I'd see them.
Like, I don't want to know how that movie was made. Like, you.
let me check.
Um,
I'm gonna
not the
check the
director
website.
of it as a fun person to
Okay.
be around,
It has a Salo
respectfully.
yesterday and today,
So,
33-minute documentary, including. Oh, there were interviews like at the time, so we do have some
Oh,
stuff with him.
we do have something.
ah,
That's good.
And we also got documented with like other directors who were like apparently like involved with it, who were
Oh,
like talked to, who
okay.
like were inspired. I think. It also has about what about a 45-minute documentary about the film's production. Oh, how fun! It has video interviewers with set designers. Okay, okay.
Interesting.
So maybe I will buy this. No, no, no.
No,
don't.
no, no, no,
No.
no, 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 no.
Spend wisely. Gotta use the
Spend
money
wisely,
wisely.
Israel. You got to get the other John Waters movies. You can't do that.
To be fair, John Waters does love this film.
Oh, he does.
I
That's
think he does. Like,
does he? That'd be actually. I wouldn't. That wouldn't be shocking. I just say.
I'm pretty. I'm like I remember like YMS mentioned he loved this film, but like of course that's YMS.
Well,
So it's
that's
not like him saying
YMS. We can't trust him on
yeah,
things.
yeah,
Sneaky
exactly.
devil.
Exactly that's the issue. He gave Peak a 5. Wait,
That.
what? He that bastard.
Wait, which peak? Which peak?
Uh, all the peaks.
Oh, well, he always gives it a 6 out of 10. That's his. You can buy a shirt from YMS that just says 6 out of 10. Who would actually buy that shirt?
I know.
Like,
Well, I would buy it just for the bit.
it's cheap. And it costs 20. For some reason, it costs $27. Like, why? How did it cost that
Criterion.
much to manufacture? What
To be fair,
happened?
Criterion also has some really dumb fucking shirts on their website.
Yeah, it's kind of like A24 shirts, where it's just like, okay, you put A24 on your shirt. What else? Oh, nothing.
Okay, but there's also like this entire fucking like section of Criterion where it's just like genres with that are just like the name of the genre on printed on top of the shirts.
It's kind of, this reminds me of Supreme shit, where it's like, here's the brand, but what else? What are you doing?
Okay, I want you to guess what this shirt that says just action on it. How much do you think it costs?
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say $27.99.
$35.
95?
$35.
$95.
I
Okay.
said
Oh,
$35. I
35.
said
Okay, I was
35.
worried for a second. Like $95 for a shirt that says action on it. Ugh.
There's literally just the word action on it. There's no flair or anything.
I
It's
could get a white
$35.
shirt right now and just put the word action on it and it make millions. Fucking
Dude,
Christ.
this shirt's a black shirt. This shirt's a black shirt.
Oh wow.
But there's also white shirts.
It's
There's also white.
diverse. How wonderful. Woke.
Yeah,
Woke agenda. Damn you.
damn.
There's also a Criterion beach towel.
There's beach towels? Okay, I'd buy
Yeah,
those.
okay, and this beach towel is $45.
Yeah. What
Would you
is it?
buy the Criterion
This
beach
is.
towel?
This is a thing. Wow, this is incredible.
I don't think people who actually go to the beach would have a
Hey guys,
criterion.
I have a Criterion blanket.
Like,
I'm a
respectfully, if you're
special
gonna go to the
edition
beach, that is
disc.
not where you want to flex that you have criterion
No,
clothing.
no, that could be
That's
for a
not.
cosplay where I'm a special edition disc of
For
Salo.
Halloween, I should go with the Criterion C.
Someone will
The
do that.
Criterion. Okay, here's my thing. It's Criterion, like, I do get expensive with their, like, the Blu-rays, but, like, they're worth it in my opinion. But, like,
Mm,
who would buy $45 for, like, just a towel? Because, like, who needs, like, this sort of, like, design? Who needs this?
I do, sir. I need this.
No, you don't.
You know everyone needs it. We all
No,
need
you
it.
don't. No, you don't. You don't. You're lying to
We'll
yourself.
let him live in this fantasy world, okay?
Yeah, let me live in my fantasy. Wouldn't you rather want to live in a fantasy than discover that your real life is depressing and that you can't live anymore
I'll
with
try to
your?
say this, but your life is a beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy, and my world is a Salo.
You're a Donda. You're more of a Donda life. You have a Donda lifestyle.
Donda, 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 donda,
What's my favorite
donda.
Donda song? Donda?
It's not a
Donda?
chant.
Donda's a great
I
album.
remember one time my mom walked in
It's a
on me
good
listening
album.
to Donda Chan, and she was like, Matthew, what the fuck are you listening to? I was like, it's Donda Chan.
It's the
And
Donda
she was like,
chant.
what? Why does it just keep repeating the same
Mr.
name over and
Matthew
over again?
C. How dare you
Okay,
listen to Donda
Yeah,
chant?
okay, who
yeah,
did
I
better,
know.
Kanye or Radiohead?
Mm,
Oh, Kanye, he acts more like me.
I love both. I can't decide between which.
You,
I
you,
don't know.
you love
Enough time has passed. I
Although
think I would.
I will say, Jesus is King is better than all of Radiohead. I gotta say.
to kill
You
yourself. You
can't say
actually just
that.
like time to
I'm
end
kidding,
the
I'm
round.
kidding. Look,
You're kidding.
yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah,
I'm gonna kill you, Xander. I'm going to put you in the electric chair with a bunch
you'd
of water on
murder
it.
a
I don't know. In reality,
teenager.
Donda Chant's better than most
Yes, I would.
Radiohead
Yes, I
songs
would.
put together.
I'd kill everyone now. Condone first
Degree
degree murder.
murder.
Advocate
Hit for
cannibalism.
cancel.
Eat shit.
Shit. But yeah, I'd say Donda is a great album, unlike what some others
It's a
say.
good album. It's a good album.
It's
It's a
great.
good 7 out of 10 album.
I trust your light 8 to like solid 7. You know.
I give it a solid 7, personally speaking. It's good.
What
It's
would
good.
It's like a
you get?
6.
Hey,
Uh,
why are you being so mean to
And when
Donda?
Look, it has
it's
like
loaded.
two good tracks. Okay, it's a boring
Okay,
album. Okay,
which two songs?
actually, you know what? Donda Chant both times.
Both times? What about off the grid?
Yeah.
Jail?
Okay.
Well,
Uh, Actually, confession, I need to re-listen to most Kanye albums because the ones that aren't like Yeezus or like uh, one other one, a lot of them, like Yeezus is the only one I could probably remember every song off the top of my
oh
head.
really?
I haven't listened to a lot of Kanye like recently, so I should probably get on that
I've seen a mix of a
again.
lot of his shit, so I identify. I basically listened to Donna for like a straight year, I think, where I just kept listening to a lot of
Oh,
I haven't really gotten a chance to
of
re-listen to
course,
like
other.
you were
Donda
the
yet, but like
Donda fan. Like you couldn't pick like you couldn't pick College Dropout or Graduation.
No. I listened to a mix of like Donda, Dropout, Yeezus, and I think Graduation. So those are like my main things.
Okay. I
my
was always straight Yeezus. That was the first one I listened to, and that was maybe okay. I don't know if Yeezus was actually a good one to first listen to because it's not the most.
It's
It's
not
the
the most
most like
ordinary Kanye album. I'll have to
yeah.
say
Compared
that.
to most
yeah.
Kanye albums, it's the most like out there.
It's
So
I
yeah.
well, not
love
out. You know,
I
it's
really
the
like
most different
because there's a
sounding, I
lot of
guess.
minimalism
Which
to
is
it and a
probably
lot
why
of
it's my
like
favorite, but it's very
factory.
different.
I don't know how to
So
Yeah.
describe it. Dust.
Personally speaking, like when it comes to like how I did Kanye, like I did all of his albums in order from like his first album all the way to his latest album, with the exception of Donda 2.
I have.
yeah,
I wish I could listen. I could listen to Donda too. It's probably available online, but when
It's
I
available online.
do, I'm like thinking. I've heard terrible things. Why would I listen to this? I don't give a shit. Like, come
Yeah, it's
on.
yeah.
rated worse than Jesus is King.
Which is a good album. Well,
No,
it's
it's
not good,
not.
Look,
but
No,
it's
it
the
is
decent.
opening.
not.
It's decent.
No, it is not. It's terrible.
Okay, look, the opening song for Jesus is King is really good. Is that a hot take? I forget what it's
No, no,
called,
it's
but
pretty
the
good.
opening.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
No, the opening track is really
No,
good. I like
Yeah,
how
I
it
like it.
sounds a little.
all of the tracks are boring
Uh,
except for maybe the Chick-fil-A song, but
okay,
that one's funny bad.
cause
Look,
the
I can't
but
debate
you
music,
hate
you
the
guys.
fire
This is
bars
inherently
like
subjective.
closed on
But
Sunday. You're my Chick-fil-A. You're my Chick-fil-A.
That's
You
why
don't
I
you
said
know,
like
it was
it?
every
funny
hour
bad. That's why I
is a
said it was
bop.
funny
Okay, that's
bad.
a great song, and I'm
No,
tired of
it's not.
pretending it's not.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Hold on. You wanna? Okay,
Are you in?
so there's this. Okay, the first like Jesus is King like thing I've listened to was this. I don't know how to explain this, but this is like
Huh?
What is?
okay.
That's what the
So
mask
I'm
is.
not
okay,
That's
so
what the
I'm
you
not getting
know,
point of
involved
the
in
so
that.
mask
No.
is.
Minecraft YouTuber Dream, his infamous mask song was remixed along with Jesus is King, one of the songs I forget which, and unironically, it sounds really good if you just
I'm not. I can't listen to that.
I
Some stuff I'm
refuse
like,
to
I don't want
listen.
this in my head, so preemptively I'm not
yeah,
listening.
but yeah,
I'm not
but
gonna.
the original
Okay.
track too is really good. There is like a couple of actually pretty good songs in Jesus is King. I believe it.
Not really. No. I just think it's really
Eh.
boring. It's just really dull. I don't remember.
So
Everybody.
I
I
don't know.
don't.
Jesus is King is kind
It's
of like the Mario Kart 64 of Kanye West.
no,
If
it's
that
No,
makes
it's
not.
sense.
Because
not.
Mario Kart 64 is at least
Well,
fun.
hey, well, no, because Mario Kart 64 sucks, and so does Jesus
No,
is
it
King,
doesn't.
right?
No, Jesus is
Yeah, it
King is
does.
played awful because Mario Kart 64 is like a 7 out of 10.
What?
Oh no, well, no.
Okay, look.
God, I love the
Jesus
game
is
where the
King
Rainbow
is a
Road is fucking
solid,
boring.
solid 6 out of 10, guys. Come on.
No,
You
it's a
gotta be
2 out of
real.
10. It's a 2 out of
It's
10. The
not
only
it's
thing that
not
saves this.
terribly produced. There's a good choir background.
Look,
There's a lot
I
of
don't know. I
vocal.
feel like with music, you have to be like really ear grating for me to be like, you're terrible. Like a lot of music people call awful is like passable to listen to. You have to be like
No,
really the
I just like
actual fucking
No, for
inspired
me,
best
it's
music,
to
like
and I
be like.
think Jesus is King is an inspired soundtrack. It literally came from
it's
Kanye's
Look, it's
it's just
spiritual
way better
journey.
than Money
Come on.
Machine.
for me.
That's the.
Hey,
Ah.
listen. You gotta understand. You just gotta understand with 100 gex. It's about like 100 gex is about like being cocaine in a way. It's like supposed to be like the insane cocaine, and like it's not they're not perfect. They got some bad shit, but like they also got some they got some decent
Israel,
shit.
I
Okay,
think you
you guys
defending
have.
Do they? I don't
100
think
gex.
I've listened to. Okay, see,
I listened
100.
to both of
I'm
their
in an
albums.
We're gonna
Okay,
abusive
debate this.
relationship
Come
with
on.
100
At this
gex.
point, we've gone
Where
off
like
the
I
rails
let
entirely.
me
It's fine.
explain. I have like a abusive relationship with 100 gex where I'm always like, ew, this hurts my ears. This sounds really bad. And then I'm like, all right, booting up Money Machine again. It's like I always get hooked back in.
you see
I like
that's
I
the
don't know why.
Is it
Like
like High
like
Five Ghost?
like right
that's the
now I could sing the entirety of like Money Machine.
Why
Like
would you
personally
do
go
speaking, like
that?
money machines. Personally speaking,
I
money machines not
wouldn't,
even
but I
like their
have
best.
the ability.
The
Like
issue for me is that
I
like
could right now.
Money Machine's like probably one of my lesser favorite songs from them because like I just like something like Stupid Horse or like Doritos and Fritos are like way better in my opinion. I honestly think if
Doritos
you
and
want to like
Fritos
actually give them a
sucks.
chance,
Come on.
no, it
No, but
doesn't.
look, 100 Gex
Doritos and
has some
Fritos.
really good lyrics. Like, your arms look so fucking cute. They look like little cigarettes. I bet I could smoke you. I could roast you.
To
And then
be
you
fair,
love
they
it.
are,
And then you
their
text
goal
me
isn't
I
to be
love
taken
you. And then
seriously
I
at
fucking
all.
ghost
That's the
you.
thing.
See,
Their
look
goal
at
is
how
not to
these
be
good
taken
these
seriously at all.
lyrics
They're
are.
like a joke band.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the point
so
of them.
wait. So you're telling me it's like Scream 2022 where it's
No, it's more
intentionally
like
bad.
it's not intentionally
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
It's more like a John Waters film in terms of like it not taking itself seriously at all.
No, it's not. I bet it's not.
Yes,
No,
it is.
no, no.
Yes,
I
it
don't
is.
believe it.
Yeah, it's not
Look,
intentionally
the
bad.
thing with
It's more
100
like it's
Gex,
just
right,
stupid.
is you can sound intentionally bad all you want, but you're still hurting my ears. Like
I'm not
Yeah,
it
saying
doesn't count
exactly.
for
no. It's more
anything.
like it's a unique aesthetic. Okay, let's
It's
be
not a
fair there.
unique
It's like
aesthetic. It's just garbage. Come on, fuck
no,
off.
it's not. No, it's
Look, I
not.
could like
Fine.
shit
Okay.
on like a plate, and I could say that's good
You know,
to
I'll listen to
sing.
a
Would you
full
call it
100
No,
unique?
Gex
because like
album tomorrow. I will.
do
Okay,
10,000
hold
gex. Do
on.
10,000
Oh
gex. That
my
one
god,
is
this
a
gave
lot
me
better
the
in my
best
opinion.
picture. Okay, so so you know the South Park episode
No,
where
it's 20 minutes. It's
Stan
it's 20
hears all
minutes. So
music
like
as shit, and Randy's like, "Oh, this isn't shit." So he pretends to listen to this music even though it's shit. That's what
Yeah.
100 Gex is. People pretend they like it. because it's
To be fair, I
unique
usually
to
hate it
Yeah,
as
them.
well,
no,
but like,
you know it's exactly like that. I get. Oh my god, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
man,
but you have to understand, at the very beginning, like, I hated them, but like, slowly throughout time, I actually learned to
Israel, you
slightly
are
appreciate
brain
them.
rotted. That's what happened. You got
I am
brain
not brain
rotted.
rotted. I am not brain rotted. You have to understand. I know what I'm talking about.
No, you
You
don't.
don't. Yes, I do. You understand? You have to
I'm
Look,
look. If
gonna
you take
listen
their
to
you
every
instrumentation,
100 Gex album.
respectfully.
there's only two.
I'm gonna do both
They're
then.
like they're like 23 minutes long each. They're very short, like cocaine bursts. That's the best way to describe their music. Okay, they're
Okay.
like they're like the opposite
We're
of death
turning this
grips. So I
Gex
think death
night
grips are a lot
into a
better. I'll
Gex
say.
So
year.
it's like midnight movies where you need to be on drugs to enjoy them?
Mhm.
Maybe I don't know.
Okay.
Personally, thinking to be fair, either way, I think death grips are a lot better. I'll just say that because like
Yeah,
death grips
I'm
are
gonna have
like
to listen to
a lot.
Death Grips. Yeah.
Yeah, death grips are a lot more about like catharsis and like it's a lot more like they're like a lot more like
They
music to
do have
satisfy.
an
Like
album
I like how
cover
just
where they just show a very pink dick. It's my favorite thing about
yeah,
them.
it's a real
Huh?
penis.
Yeah, okay, so did you
But the
not
thing with
know?
death grips,
So the drummer of the group, for the cover of their album, what's it called again?
no love deep web, no love deep web.
No Love Deep Web. They drew the title of the album on his penis, and then they took a picture of it, and that's the album cover.
I just I don't like that.
You don't?
No.
It's a very
We
erect
don't.
penis
No.
too. I could tell it's veiny
It seems like
and very
if it was
pink.
just the decision to make that, it's kind of an ass move. One might say it's kind of a dick move. You feel me?
Okay. Mm,
It's
yeah.
Like,
great. It's great. It's a great cover. I'm gonna buy the vinyl for it someday, and I'm never gonna show anyone it because I would be too scared to.
No, you go to your mom and dad and it's like, I own this album. I proudly own it. That'd be great.
To be fair, to
does
be
it
fair,
does it
to be
look
fair,
erect?
my mom.
It
To be
sort
fair,
of.
my mom.
Do you want me to show you the cover?
You just send it in chat, and we'll look
Okay.
at it.
We'll analyze it. We'll analyze the
Okay,
classic
hold on. We're
cover.
gonna be going into. Fuck. Okay. Deep web cover. Please. Where's the uncensored one? I don't want the black bar one.
No,
This
I'm getting it.
one.
I'm getting it. I got it already. I
No, I
got it.
got it. I got it.
I'll send it first.
If you want to know what the censored version looks like, there's two different versions of the censored version.
Dude.
There you go.
Oh, well, that's not hot.
Yeah, no, look, it's so pink. At first I thought it was just a dildo, but no, that's an actual penis.
Oh, well, see, that's just gratuitous. Like, come on, that doesn't have meaning. What?
No, it's so
You're gonna say that the
artistic. It's about
rocket? It's supposed to represent a
it
rocket
represents the
shooting
vibe of
off. Like,
it represents
I
the
wonder
vibe of
how
the
it
album so
felt to like
perfectly.
wash off that marker. Like, did it feel like, wow, I did it, or was it just
Because
like,
like here's
I
the
really hope the person regretted this after because they should not
they
take that
don't
yeah?
they
But
don't
here's the
because you have to
censored
understand
version.
that's on Spotify.
I think making it censored in a way makes it worse because it's like it's trying to cover up something and you see it and it's
There's an
that.
even worse
Like,
version,
really?
which it just looks like this. Like,
I
it's
like
just a
this
black
version
bar,
actually.
just a black bar covering the penis. It's amazing. Because you
I
have
like
No,
the,
it's the
that
one you
it's
have
like
to
a
show on.
de-evolution because you have a hard erect pink penis, and then you have like censored, like bit one, and then you have just a complete just black bar just over it. It's amazing. Oh, there's a white variation. See, there's diversity in this. There's diversity.
That's good.
Yeah, like I feel like the cover itself does like represents the album a bit because like it's called No Love Deep Web and like it kind of has that like vibe throughout the album. In terms of, like you're going down like the deep web in a way, you know. To me, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh,
That's kind of
I
like
found a No Love Deep Web fan art cover, and it's just someone's erect penis, and then they just plastered a digital like text over it. Wow, that's amazing. Wow.
they didn't even
Wow.
bother to
This
actually
is
write the
one of the
mark on
first
that time
results when you
before
search up No
shame.
Love Deep Web cover. By the way, crazy, insane.
It's a classic cover, you know. It's gonna be there for when we die, you know.
When did we lose track of everything? I forget.
We we lost track
I
about the
don't know.
That's
I
track
feel
a long
I
time
forget
ago.
what like. Okay, I swear we were talking about like I want to say Salo, and now we're talking about this really erect penis. See, I think that's a good way to
That's
wrap
a
up.
good way. That's a good way to wrap up.
Yeah,
But
No, we
yeah.
got one more thing to talk about.
oh, what
Uh,
could it be?
we
What?
got let's talk about I don't know.
Wow. Okay, so we really ran out of ideas here. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
We're
guess
like the
that's
prequels. We don't have any more original ideas.
yeah.
But
I don't have any more original ideas. But oh wait, actually, right now, all I will
yeah,
say right now
did
is
everyone have to pause
you do
after I
not
said
get the
that?
artistic integrity of 100 gex and death grips. So that's all I'm saying. Both have
Yeah.
very
Well.
huge artistic
Eh,
integrity.
The next time you see me,
I
I
don't know.
will not have just listened to 100 Gex album, but I will have listened to my second Weezer album by the time this uploads. Yeah.
Wow.
Weezer's way worse than 100 gex. Let's be fair.
I'm gonna be real. The Blue album, the Blue album's like
I just hate Weezer,
nearly
honestly.
mid. It's
Like
like
I can't describe
barely
it, but
acceptable.
Weezer fans have this really bad aura around them that just makes me not want to be near a Weezer fans like Radius. You guys get that?
I
Like,
like the Weezer memes most of the time.
no, Weezer memes are funny because they're making fun of Weezer. But
Yeah,
like, I feel
exactly.
like an unironic Weezer fan, if I'm like near them, they probably have bad breath,
Cartoon
and like
sheet.
they.
Well, that's funny to think about. Cartoon sheet really likes Weezer. That's great.
Oh, maybe that's why he fell off.
He got
Hmm.
infected by the Blue album.
Exactly.
No.
Fuck.
I don't know
Yeah.
why, but Weezer's telling me I should be nicer towards Steven Universe. Hmm.
But anyway, yeah. Yeah. The Blue album's like okay, if I'm gonna be real. Like people were really hyping the shit out of it. I really like the sweater song, but that's it.
That's why you should listen to all of my favorite albums instead,
Yeah.
because I got superior
It's time to
taste.
deflate this erect penis and put an end to all of this. Uh, what are
Mhm.
your overall thoughts on Pink Flamingos on Multiple Maniacs, and what are your ratings? Let's go first with Brian.
Oh, okay. So Pink Flamingos is a very solid, it's like the erection. It's a
Yeah, yeah.
solid 8 out of 10. It's very like not really.
It's
It's
not
not the
very
most
veiny.
well structured movie, but I think for what it does, it's just aiming to be a funny,
Yeah,
insane movie, and you know what? For the context it was made in, I think it's really great. To
yeah.
give it an 8.
Is
Multiple Maniacs, I find harder
oh
to rate because it's such a weird movie in terms of how it's, even more so in terms of how it's paced and
oh,
what
I thought the
happens in
five
it.
stars were
But
unironic. Oh,
yeah, you know what? I'll say it's a 10 out of 10. Actually, you know what? It's like,
yeah, yeah. Let's
you
go
know
with that.
what? I don't know. I think that's fair. You know, what are we gonna say? Am I gonna nitpick the pacing of Multiple Maniacs? Like,
I mean,
no,
you could.
it's a perfect movie.
Yeah. Anyway,
So yeah,
what about the big star of tonight? The one who brought up the erect penis. You, or maybe I did. I forget. Israel, what are your
We
thoughts
both
on both
did.
of these movies?
Well, Pink Flamingos. I'm very glad I've seen it 3 times now. One of
Yeah,
them was on accident, technically
yep.
speaking. It's a very important film for me because, like, it's very special. I think it's very funny. You could argue it has its faults, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's still like a very fun movie. 8 out
very
of 10.
fun.
Same with Multiple Maniacs, but maybe a bit less or so.
Yeah.
Also an 8 out of 10. Okay, and then we got Salo. I'm not giving that one a rating. The first 100 Cakes album, it's pretty good. 7 out of 10.
Okay, okay, you've
Second
had
one,
enough
eight
of
out of
your
10.
taste. You have
Okay,
your
Then
okay,
we
you
opinion.
need
have
to
It's
rate
okay.
Denver.
everything. Calm
All right,
down, calm down.
Calm down, calm down. Anyway, as for
Although if we
me,
are rating things, then Jesus is King is like a solid 9. I want to say,
I gotta say,
but
Jesus
Very
King is a
so.
solid 10 without heart. You know, you get me.
Jesus King is a
yeah,
solid 2 out of
exactly.
10 with heart.
Although I would
Mhm.
say on you, I did re-listen to Jesus yesterday with Israel. Fantastic album, love it.
It's pretty good, yeah.
I
We had
don't,
a
I
great
can't
time.
rate music because that's like inherently subjective. But Jesus is a 10.
Nice.
My
Jesus is an 8
favorite
for me
album.
now. Yesterday, I don't know what I was thinking my first listen. I must have been
If
on
you're thinking
crack.
about me and my scale, well, um, well, actually, that's a bit hard. Pink Flamingos, I'd give an 87 out of 100. Let's go with that. 8 out of 10
Okay.
for you
And
simpletons, and
Multiple
an
Maniacs.
8 out of 10 as well for Multiple Maniacs, which on an exact scale. be 84. It's a bit lesser. I struggle between which one's better for me, but I just kind of like both equally. They're kind of in the same like scale or around
I,
like the same
I just
age.
prefer Pink, I just prefer Pink Flamingos personally picking, but like that's a respectable opinion, and yeah,
Yeah.
respectable opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, the lesson here we've all learned today is do whatever the fuck you want. Like have an erect penis as
Kill
like your album
everyone
cover.
now.
Do that. Kill
Yeah, do that.
everyone
Do that.
now.
Condone
Own
first
first degree
degree murder.
murder. Eat,
Advocate
Advocate
cannibalism. Eat
cannibalism.
shit.
cannibalism. Eat shit.
Eat shit. You
Shit.
gotta. Filth is my
Avoid
politics.
politics.
Filth is
It's
my
fine
life.
It's
life.
my life. Pick
Pick
whatever
whatever
Pick
you
you
want.
want.
whatever you want. Ooh, yeah.
Ooh,
Alright.
How's
yeah.
this for a center spread?
Alright, bye.
Alright, but bye
Bye.
everyone. It's okay to be gay, Bart.
Bye.
Bye bye. Guys, once again, the day is saved thanks to the John Waters Gang.